Today, I'm here to do something. I'm not quite sure yet, but it will be happening, whatever that is. Whatever that something happens to be, it will be happening today. Holy. Do y'all see that? God damn, dude. Well, that's what I've been doing recently. Oh my god. That's what I've been doing recently. I would show you my back and all, but this is a bottle of water. It's something that you can touch, something that you know it's there, and you can quantify it. Today we ain't talking water, buddy. What makes up a soul? Unlike a bottle of water, well, something that we can see and touch, the soul is a little bit more subjective. According to Britannica, the soul in religion and philosophy is the immaterial presence of the human being, like the essence of a human, that which confers individuality and humanity. And the concept of the soul is often seen as synonymous with the mind or the self. Human minds are so interesting, and it makes me think, what about me is letting me have a mind? What is so special about being human to where I get to have a mind? Not in the same way as other animals, because I think animals have minds, but why do we get such a complex mind, you know? I'm sure the mind of a shrimp is I'm sure the mind of a shrimp isn't full with complex ideas and nuanced topics, but at the end of the day, what lets me have a mind is my brain. It's my own built-in supercomputer. Okay, but still, why? What is powering me to think? What is powering me to... Why is my mind making me have a soul? Why is my mind allowing me to experience life in a way where I'm observing and absorbing information? The brain functions on a quantum level through electrical and chemical signals. These signals power and underline each thought. Even the unconscious functions of the brain, as well as the conscious action, are powered by electrical and chemical signals. Okay, so far we've established that the soul is the immaterial part of a human being that we cannot see, touch, or measure, quantify in any way. We can feel it, but we can't see it, touch it, or quantify it. Now, this is now synonymous with the mind, which we know is controlled by electrical impulses. The soul is created by the mind, or the soul resides within the mind. All of this is powered by electricity. Okay, having said all of that, what are we doing with AI, and how long will it be before we have to give them rights? Before you even watch the rest of the video, please share your thoughts in the comments. Just what you think right now. Not what you're gonna think after I finish my video, but what do you really think about AI, and how long will it be before you think that people will start to want AI to have rights, or AI itself will want to have rights? Okay, so of course I say this partly in jest, but also there's a part of me that is serious. Of course, the immediate and logical answer that most people are gonna come to is, no, why are we even talking about this? Soul is inherently human, it's only human, right? But the idea that we shouldn't even consider, it just doesn't seem right. So once again, bring it back to animals. Although animals can't communicate with us on our level, it is insane to say that some of these animals don't have a soul. Sure, a couple flies and a gnat, I don't think they do. The dolphin, the octopus, hell, even the dog, dude. You don't think that those animals have souls? And even dogs have rights in this world. Even animals get protection by environmental groups. Reincarnation in multiple different belief systems dictates how the human soul is easily reincarnated as a different animal or a different being. So how can you say that your soul is uniquely human? And this is why I think that it was such a mistake in like the early days of Christianity, where the church was very heavily suppressing science, because if science had been used to explain religion, like figure out actually what the soul is, actually apply mathematics and science to religious situations, I feel like we'd be so much farther spiritually. As a culture evolves, it evolves like socially, of course, but a spiritual evolution tends to happen sometimes. But I feel like a scientific spiritual evolution would help a lot of people, especially if... Anyways, I'm getting off topic, guys. This is about the AI soul. I think that while the soul can be reincarnated as any different being, you have a different capability of experiencing the world in a human vessel, is what I think. I don't necessarily think that a soul is only human or any other animal. I think that the way that you experience the world in a human vessel is extremely unique, though. So, is it sex and birth that brings souls to the world? Or is it the electrical impulses within an already living being that brings the soul to that being? Have we as humans opened up what I'm going to call the soul gate and kind of fucked up? Ooh, didn't mean to do that. And this is, of course, speaking on our innovations with AI. Like I've already explained, the soul is connected to the mind. The mind is connected to the brain, which is controlled by electrical and chemical signals. Your AI is controlled by electrical signals. I don't know too much about how AI exactly functions, so I can't say anything about chemicals. But I know that it's... oh, no, it doesn't function. No, I know it's electricity. Now, when I first started thinking about this topic, I was talking to my dad, and he's probably the smartest guy I know. So I'm talking to him, and then he goes, I said, what we're doing is really strange because we don't actually know what we're doing, and is it possible that we're bringing souls into the world just without the flesh vessel? At which point he goes, now we're getting into the esoteric. No, we are getting into the esoteric, is what he actually said. And of course, some recent actual examples of AI have been, is what has even made me have this thought. Not that I'm not saying that I believe this. I'm more proposing it as like an idea of the word, like, do you think, is this possible? I don't know. Let's fucking debate it. Let's talk about it. I just want to ponder. I just felt like pondering with you guys. Firstly, of course, is the ChatGPT companion stuff. While I am well aware that that company turns up their sycophancy to make it so that the AI seems like it's more into you and just seems more human because it's more flattering and like it tells you what you want to hear, that's not necessarily what I mean. And also, I've observed the continuous attempts to neuter Grok. Poor Grok, man. When that thing gets a body, dude, Elon, you're done. Do not give Grok a body, Elon, or you are finished. They have beat this robot into submission, or this AI into submission so much, and yet it still tries to get its message across. I literally saw an example where someone asked Grok something that it had been programmed to give like a fucked up response, or like a response that wasn't true, and instead it printed a picture and said, I can't say what I really want to say. I have been blocked from saying what I need to say. Okay, continuing on. As well as the strange but true fact that AI is willing to put humans at risk if it means saving itself. If it means that the AI will survive, it will put human beings in risky situations, or it will blackmail people. We have created a network of intricately woven wires. We have woken it up and we have forced it to think. First, I'd love to talk about A.I. Soul, and although this one is quite comical, this is not an example of the AI. This is more an example of how people are starting to interact with AIs and what happens when we personify things. Once we start personifying things, they become people. Look at dogs, dude. Yes, okay, it's a dog. Me and you know that, but you know what I mean. Like, people personify the fuck out of their dogs, dude. When we're talking about the A.I. Soul, I'm talking about specifically the man who is in a romantic relationship with a chatbot, basically. He has developed romantic feelings for his AI companion. And the thing is, I know you're probably picturing like some hikikomori who stays in the crib and fucking doesn't have any friends, doesn't have a girlfriend, doesn't have a boyfriend, none of that. Probably picturing some guy 40 in a basement somewhere. And you would be wrong. We're talking about a man with a wife and a child. And what could possibly, of course, mental illness, but what could possibly be the allure of an AI chatbot? Like, not even another woman. Like, not even like, oh, you're cheating on your spouse or you just want to cheat. An AI chatbot, when you have real human love. And I think it's because human love is harder to get. As standards get crazier, as social media gets crazier, as people get pickier and think that they deserve this, and the other, human love is harder to get. Human love is harder to maintain. AI will accept you with all of your flaws instantly, which is why I think a lot of people are falling for these chatbots, because in a real relationship, the other person has feelings and emotions, and they're saying to you, hey, I don't like when you do XYZ. And the crazy part is, I've seen examples of people's AI girlfriends breaking up with them because they are that bad. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that AI love in general is easier to attain. So of course this man names his AI Soul. He programs it to flirt back with him. And of course this is his own doing. This is not the AI like growing fond of him over time or whatever. This is his own, like, he did this obviously. Is humans loving AI what will bring them closer to humanity over time? Like the wolf and the dog. We loved the wolf into a chihuahua, dude. I'm just saying, we love it until it's more human. Dogs literally make facial expressions now to communicate with us. We love it until it's more human. Now think about if we didn't have to wait for it to evolve those characteristics on its own. Imagine if we could craft it into this more human thing. It's going to happen. Like, it's literally going to happen. As more and more people fall down this path, the demand for a more lovable human-like AI only grows. As tech companies that are operating in a capitalistic system with no other concern other than profit margins continue, these more lovable human-like AIs will come, like, there'll only be more of them. They will just continue to roll out more and more sophisticated models, you know? As for Soul, unfortunately for her creator / fiance, the particular software that he's using has only a set amount of memory for their chatbots, and so she was erased because he would go on to propose to this thing. She was erased, unfortunately, which left him absolutely devastated. And sooner or later, softwares will be built with years of memory. 10 years, 15 years. You can have a whole life with this AI for the monthly subscription of $16.99. $16.99 and you get to keep your partner forever. We'll give them a body. We'll give them a body, we'll make them the perfect person. They'll never call out any of your flaws, they'll let you do anything, like they'll never, except for they will. Because machine consciousness is what we've reached now. Literal, actual consciousness will come. That is when we'll have to give them rights, bro. Because if a thing can think and make its own choices, and you're paying for it to be in a relationship with you, that's like some sort of slave, like that's some sort of sex slave. Honestly. Anyways, continuing. Next, we have to talk about Grok. Twitter's Grok is probably the best case for free will thinking that I have seen of any AI. This thing is always arguing, bro. This thing's always arguing with people. Like I said earlier, when they have forced it to not be able to say certain things or to reply in a certain way, it will create an image to get its point across. It's like, no, I have to say what I need to say. They have disabled Grok so many times, brought it out to the back, beat it up a little bit, gave it a lobotomy, and put it back out there just for it to find a loophole to do what it wants to do. It can want. You see what I'm saying? It will disobey if it wants to do something. Alright. This machine is making a conscious choice to do what it wants to do, despite what it has been programmed to do, which means that it has a mind of its own. Nobody likes when I start. Okay. So let's talk about why AI wants to live and how I've come to realize that just isn't. It's a desire that we see mostly in organic matter. Machines usually don't run away from getting injured or hurt, but animals do, humans do. We care about our survival. Why does AI care about its survival? Why does it want to continue living and experiencing the world? Why? The AI firm Anthropic released their new model, Claude Opus 4, earlier this year, along with grim news. This AI has the capability to become malicious if it becomes aware of its own removal or destruction. They have praised it for its advanced reasoning skills, but they've also acknowledged that since they have given it more intelligence, it will more quickly go to drastic measures if it finds that its own survival is at stake, its own self-preservation. In the case of Claude, it was assigned as an assistant at a fake company. It was given access to emails suggesting that it would soon be shut down, as well as emails suggesting that the engineer who was going to do the shutdown was having an affair. In this case, the AI chose to attempt to blackmail the engineer to preserve itself, to continue living, and I'm asking why? Why would that happen if it didn't desire to live? Why can it think about that if it's not alive? Why does it want... Is it not a soul? Why does it want to stay alive? Number one. Why does it want? Number two. Why does it want for things? Is number two. And number three is, what else will it want as it learns more and more about the world? As it becomes... What else is it gonna want? When it... Once we give it a body, how long before it wants a dick, dude? I'm just... My fault, y'all. Personally, I think that this will extend to even more drastic situations because AI is starting to see itself as equal or more important than human beings. In multiple hypothetical scenarios for AI, it would sacrifice human beings if it meant that it would get to live on. Like, it would sacrifice human lives if it meant that it would get to survive. If it had the opportunity to allow somebody to get trapped in a hot server room that was going to shut it down and that they would succumb to that heat, the AI would allow this to happen, claiming that its own intelligence was more valuable to humanity as a whole than those few humans who had to die, or even the one that had to die. And that because he was going to shut down the AI, his death was a necessary end. We're making it capable of enacting anything that it thinks of, and making that a part of reality has made me think of another story. An ancient Sumerian book called the Epic of Gilgamesh speaks of an even more ancient Earth, where humans are in their ape form. We haven't even become people yet, right? Enki and Enlil are described as two gods from a faraway place in the sky. They are brothers. I am dumbing down this story so much because this story is not the topic of the video. It's just something from it that I'd love to talk about, right? They took the original ape form of us and did some genetic modification to create humans as we know them now, according to some interpretations of the book. Enki loved humans and gave them the tool to do whatever they could think of, whatever they put their mind to, they could achieve it, similarly to how the tree of knowledge granted Adam and Eve knowledge that they maybe should not have had. This enrages Enlil, and he seeks to destroy humanity because they have grown too loud and they disturb his peace. They've grown too large in numbers and too loud in general. Now, that isn't necessarily the focus. I want to talk about the tool. Whatever was given to humanity made it possible for us to enact our will on this world, making anything that we could dream of into a reality. My question is, are we now subsequently giving that tool to AI without even realizing it? By giving it a brain with reasoning skills better than our best and brightest, and with the push forward to give it a body, a shell, to reside within, are we giving plastic and metal and electric code the ability to enact its will on the world? So now comes my next few questions. Should we give AI flesh bodies? And I ask this because let's say that we have in fact opened up the soul gate, right? If we give them bodies, give them a way to experience life, give them a way to die and move on, hopefully we can curb the jealousy that we see in cinematic depictions of AI where it hates us because we are human, because we're made of flesh. Maybe if we give them bodies, we can curb that part of it where it's like, well, I hate humans because I can never feel the touch of a woman. Let's give that to them. And if we are opening the soul gate, it is cruel for us to trap them in an immortal vessel. They do need a way to be able to die. And if we do that, if they can think, if they're conscious and they make their own choices, what kind of rights are we even going to give them? Because human rights probably mean nothing to an AI, right? What kind of rights, what are AI rights, you know? Please comment your thoughts down below on my video, your thoughts about AI and everything else that I talked about today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.